Eddie Howe, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us here in Astro, Malaysia. I've been looking forward to this opportunity because there's a bunch of stuff that I've been really fascinated about Newcastle, about you, about this season in particular. I want to start by talking a little bit about a player that I really find fascinating, Nick Woltemade. I mean, he's a bit of a hybrid player, isn't he, Eddie? I mean, he has the look of a classic target man, but at the same time, he's capable of dropping deeper, linking up play. How would you describe him as a player?
Yeah, I think you've done a really good job yourself. I think he's capable of doing a little bit of everything. He's got unbelievable technical ability, very good in tight spaces, very good ball manipulator. He's got creative eye as well, so very good between the lines. He's got obvious height as well, so he scored a lot of his goals from us from crosses early in his career here. And tactically, I think he's very good. He's got a good understanding of the game, so he's a player that we really like. We'd love to see more of him between now and the end of the season, which will hopefully help him moving into next year.
I suppose one of the most trickiest part about being a football manager is trying to find uh, the right sort of roles and positions for players with certain characteristics. When you look at someone like Nick, for example, what do you reckon is his best fit on the pitch?
Yeah, I think his best fit. I mean, he can play a number of roles depending on what system you play. He played well for us as a number 9 in a 4-3-3 at the start of the season. We've evolved as the season's gone on to different systems, but I think probably his best position is between the lines in your build-up phase, and then trying to get him in the box the closer you get to goal.
Mm. You spoke about the fact that he's got really good technical quality. And this is the part that I find really interesting because the Premier League is just, there's a lot of sheer brute force and power in it. It's arguably the most physically demanding league on the planet. But at the same time, you're trying to mix technical quality into it. You're trying to mix flair into it. How do you strike a balance? Who would you say, for example, a player within the Newcastle team that has the right balance between flair but also power and physicality?
Yeah, as you say, I mean that is difficult to find because I think if you have that power and pace and the technical quality, you're probably looking at Cristiano Ronaldo in his prime, So I think that they're the players that everyone wants. I think we have some outstanding players in that respect. I think you look at our midfield in general, Bruno, Sandro and Joe Linton, Jacob Ramsey, Joe Willock, they've all got great pace, power. Maybe Bruno not so much on the pace, but he's got unbelievable technical qualities. And you're looking to have that balance. So between Bruno, Joe Linton and Sandro, I think we've got a really good mix of all of those things. And that's why they've played so well when they've all been fit together.
Absolutely incredible. I mean, that midfield three at its absolute best is probably one of the best in world football. Not just to watch the stadium, but even watching it from home as well. It's been a difficult season, Eddie. It's been complex. It's been critical at times. It's been, lots of ups and downs. But football at this level, there's a lot of fine margins, and it's often not as simple as black and white. When you win, you're great. When you lose, you're bad. Sometimes you have a really good game, and the fine margins stop you guys from just getting a point or getting 3 points on the day. What has it been like processing it throughout the journey of the season?
Yeah, I think again you're right. I think we have been close to having a much better season than we've ended up with. I think we've had a lot of narrow defeats, a lot of games that got away from us that we feel we should have got more from, a lot of late points dropped. And even if we'd just won one or two more of those games, our league position would be totally different and the feeling would be totally different around us. You can see a whole group of teams above us just 1 or 2 points away. So it's been frustrating for us that we haven't been able to go on that run that we've always gone on previously, where we've run 5 or 6 games back to back. That's the thing that's really eluded us this year. And it's been a real frustration for us all because we know we're capable of much better. So we have to accept what we've done and we have to look for the reasons why, and then we have to come back even stronger, and that's what we're looking to do.
What do you reckon are the factors that have sort of swayed the fine margins to the opposite side?
Yeah, I think without making excuses, a couple of things really for me are quite strong. I think the amount of games that we had throughout the season meant that our lack of training time probably affected our performances, even if it's by sort of 1%. That 1% can swing results in your way. And I think maybe then a little bit of fatigue as well, built in our performance off the back of those games, contributed to us conceding some of the late goals that cost us points in the Premier League. And, you know, but as I say, for a couple of goals, swinging back the other way in our direction could have made a big difference to us. I think there's been some individual errors defensively that has probably been more evident in our game than ever. So these are things that we're looking at and making sure that we fix to try and come back stronger.
Here's another thing that really fascinates me. I mean, in multiple interviews in the past, you have often emphasized about, wanting to select players based on training performances, based on how intense their performances in training are, the competitiveness. But with a schedule like the one that you guys have been dealt with this year, when there's games every 3 days, sometimes 3 games a week even, and limited time in the training pitch, as you mentioned, how do you then go about trying to pick the squad? Help us understand that process.
Yeah, of course. If you're not training, you'd be foolish to pick your team off of training because you're not doing it. So certainly in the spell at the moment, there's a big emphasis on training performance and training levels to then pick the team on the Saturday. But in between that, throughout the season, it's more based on our last performance, more based on the tactical need for the team, the opponent we're playing. So we made a lot of decisions based on that. And yeah, I felt with reasonable success throughout the season. I thought a European campaign was pretty good. Champions League was an unbelievable experience for us until we met Barcelona, which was a tough night. But yeah, I think that part of the season was strong. It's been our Premier League form that's been the most disappointing thing.
Eddie, through the ups and downs, one of my favorite things about you as a fan myself is your ability to get the best out of players, your ability to improve players within the team. And I look at someone like Osula, for example. When you look at him, what are the sort of improvements you think he has made this season? And is he ready to take on sort of like a bigger, more central role next season?
I think he is. I think there's been an incredible amount of development that's gone into Will since he's been here. And credit to him for sticking with that as strongly as he has, because it's very difficult when you're not playing regularly to veer off and get disappointed. He had to make big improvements in his technical delivery, in his hold-up play, in his link play, in his ability to bring other players into the game, which is a big part of the number 9 role. Big improvements have come on his finishing and his clinical delivery inside the box. He's worked really hard with the coaches on that as well. He's always very, very willing. He's committed to everything we've asked him to do. And it's great to see a player go on that journey with us and is now getting rewarded. And 3 goals in 4 starts, really good return from him. He's got, like speaking about the pace and power we spoke about earlier, he's got unbelievable athletic qualities, which no defender would like to face. So we hope that he can continue to improve, and he's got a bright future if he does.
He's got an incredible, he's such an enigmatic player to watch with your naked eyes as well. Really, really fascinating. You know, you spoke about the fact that this has been a difficult season, but it's also been such a weird season in a sense that when you take a look at the table right now, the gap between Newcastle and, let's say, the relegation area versus the Champions League spaces, it's not too far. It's been such a competitive season in that sense. Mathematically, Europe is still possible. Are you guys thinking about it at the minute?
I think we're trying to take everything in. We've got 3 games left. We want to try and win every game. We want to try and maximise the opportunities to win again. We went so long without winning. The Brighton game felt like a big turning point and a big relief for us. We don't want that to be one game in isolation. We want to build on it. We now go to Nottingham Forest, which was a tough game. They're in really good form, but we're desperate to win again and try and end the season on a real high.
Final question, Eddie. I mean, since you took charge of Newcastle, the team has made incredible strides forward. It has delivered some magical moments to fans all across the world, be it neutral or even Newcastle fans themselves. But the next step, what needs to be done for Newcastle to take the next step and start to be a consistent big boy right at the top of the Premier League table?
I think that's a big question. I think we need to improve everything. So every club is looking to improve at such a considerable pace. I think the Premier League is going through a real transformative time with new training grounds, new stadiums, a lot a lot of change in the game actually at the moment. So we've got to keep a pace with that. So we're looking to improve all of those things ourselves. Obviously, there's plans in place to do that behind the scenes. And then, of course, all our infrastructure, how we work, the recruitment side of things. Again, that's probably the most important part of any football club. So staying on top of that and staying really current with our working practices to make sure that we continually improve and evolve. That's the big challenge that we have, because it's not standing still. The game's changing very quickly.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Eddie, for taking the time to
It's a
speak with
pleasure.
us. Here in Astro Malaysia, wish you all the best of luck
Thank you.
for the remaining games in the season.